Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito show on Damon Looks. I've got a returning guest. Yes, yes, yes. She is absolutely no stranger to the Geri Petito shows. I think she's been on every single one of them. Why don't you introduce yourself, beautiful lady?
Oh, thank you, Jerry. So my name is Janine Verducci, and yes, Jerry and I have been friends for years, and I have been on her show a few times, talking about my poetry and my youth Christian books, and and now I've been doing plays. I've been writing plays, producing them, and directing them. So that's basically what we're going to talk about. I think today.
We are, but you know what? I want you to tell them first of all the title of your books as well, if you
Sure,
don't mind. Do
sure,
that.
absolutely. So I have three books that are on Amazon and Amazon.com, sorry, and BarnesandNobles.com, and one is on it's called oh my gosh, I just forgot the name of it. It's a Christian publishing group. It'll come back to me. It is called Jillian Foster's Forgiven. One of them is called Michael Conway's Acceptance, and my poetry book is called The Vintage Time Capsule. And two of the books are about bullying and forgiveness,
Right.
Because I was a teacher for years, and that's like really something I hold near and dear to me. And the second book is a poetry book, which captures the poetry that I've written since I was like a teenager. Because for me, writing has always been an outlet, and also acting.
That's right. Okay, so now your very first play, the name of that.
Yes, my very first play was called The Fine Tapestry of Motherhood. And I just remembered, so I'm just going to interject and say the name of the book company is Lighthouse Christian Publishers, where one of my books is produced. So the play is called The Fine Tapestry of Motherhood. And I started this about, maybe like 3 years ago, Jerry, the inception of like how, and the thoughts about how I can possibly, put a play out there.
Right.
I feel like there's a lot of richness, to every culture, but to my Italian culture, I feel a special connection.
Me too.
although I wasn't born in Italy, I follow the traditions and the culture. So I tried to put something together to enlighten people. And also, I love comedy. Absolutely love comedy. I feel like if you can get people to laugh, then, you've had an accomplishment. So, so the play was, written about a young mom whose husband leaves her, and she had a dream about being a writer. And she didn't get a chance to follow that dream because she was always trying to help him. And then the person that she thought she would most or least likely would help her after she finds out her husband was cheating on her is her mother. And then the story unfolds, the play, about how this mother, who's played by the role of my sister, actually, because she was perfect for it. We're about 10 years apart. So
oh, wow.
I know you came to the show.
Yes.
So you know. And so she played Rosalina, and we, just kind of like had so much chemistry from when we were younger that we, as a family, that we kind of built on that in the play. And yes, 22 cast members and crew, and it was really great. It was a great time.
It was an awesome time, and it was an incredible play. I was so proud of you. I mean, first of all, just doing it was incredible. Following your dream and doing it. And, what I want everybody out there to know about you from a personal level is I've known this young lady since she was a kid, since she was young. I also worked with her mom when I was young in real estate. Okay. So, and her husband was my grandson's orthodontist, and I didn't know that it was even her husband that he was going to.
Connected in many ways.
So many ways. What a beautiful family. I want everybody out there to really understand this. You guys are an incredible family. So I know your heart inside. I know you outside. I mean, beautiful. So that's why I really love having you on my shows. I mean, it's amazing. So We have Mary Teresa. Hi, Mary Teresa. She's so proud of you.
Oh, she's so sweet, Mary Teresa. She has actually come on board as the assistant director with this new play. Yep. So we'll talk about that too. But
yes. Yeah. So I love you, Mary Teresa. She's awesome as well. All right. So now, let's talk about your new play for a little bit. Tell us anything you want us to know about this.
Okay. Well, I started after doing the first play. I wanted to have, I was thinking of having some type of connection between the two plays, but I realized that really it would work better if I did a separate play. So if somebody didn't see the first play, they could still see the second play and enjoy it as well. So it's called the Chicolini Sisters, and it's spelled in Italian Cicci with the ch, so Lini. So it's the Chicolini Sisters, and
wait, I have to say something about that. Then you sent it to me, and it was spelled Ciccalini. Check what you sent me just for yourself.
It's up on your screen. It says Ciccalini. Yep, Chicolini. Because in Italian, when you pronounce the CI, it becomes ch.
Oh, I got you. What you were saying now. Yes. Okay, so gotcha.
Chicolini.
Gotcha.
So, and these sisters, there are 3 sisters that I created. I'm so excited about them because they each, just like me and my 2 sisters, they each carry different personalities. So the young one is sort of the innocent, sort of ditzy one, gets herself in trouble. And then the middle one is sort of the one who has maybe the closest bonds to the older sister, but yet holds a grudge. So there's irony involved in this. There's a lot of fateful twists in the story of the Chicolini sisters. But let me take a step back and just let you know, like, what's the slug line and what's the summary.
Sure.
So it's a story about 3 sisters who they are living obviously with their parents. The father passes away, and the mother is called to send them sort of on a journey to find their dreams. And what happens is after the father dies, they go to the United States, they hit Manhattan, and they're supposed to make it big. But unfortunately, as the story unfolds, they never quite get there. So I know one of your quotes, I had something like, they didn't follow fame, but they followed family, or, that the way to get to fame, was actually just being in their family. It was right there under their hearts, that they were all a part of such a greater, thing in life. So they realized that at the end of the play, that it didn't take fame to get them where they wanted to be, but it took the breaking of a grudge and getting over stuff. But there's a lot of twists and turns. You know how I do my plays, where you think it's going one way and then it kind of goes another. And then, so I want it to be a lighthearted sort of play. And it's funny, after my sister, who I have in mind for one of the roles, read the play, she said to me, she started crying. And I said, Terry, why are you crying? And she goes, well, I don't know, the ending. She goes, oh my gosh, I'm not saying this to sound braggadocious, but she said, it's just such a beautiful story. And I said, well, why are you crying? She goes, well, it depends. What do you want the audience to take away? I said, tell me how you're feeling. She goes, I'm feeling overjoyed. I said, and she goes, and I'm crying tears of joy. And I said, well, that's what I want the takeaway.
Okay, yes, beautiful. I was going to say, please don't make it sad. I'm so happy.
It's not sad. It's actually fun. There's a wedding. I did Tony and Tina's wedding. So there's a wedding involved, and, my background, it's in acting, so, and teaching. So, yeah, so I bring a lot of joy throughout the play. Like, there's certain parts that are, obviously going to be a little more dramatic, but I want it to be fun and light and uplifting and family oriented. So yes, I think it's all of that.
No, that's good. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So, all right. So I want everyone to also hear about your children's books. Talk a little bit about them.
Okay, great. So I have 2 children's books that are out there. If your kids are experiencing bullying, I created this especially with them in mind, because I was at one point in my life when I was in school bullied, and so I can honestly relate to that. And I always go by the inspiring words of Les Brown when he says, you know, someone's opinion of me does not have to be my reality. And I always tell kids that, like, you know, God has given you so many talents and so many things to look forward to. So the name of the book is called Jillian Foster's Forgiven, because in the end, Jillian Foster, even though she was bullied, finds a space in her heart to forgive Allison, her, you know, mean bully. And there's also like journals I've been at different schools, and you know, the kids have written in them. They can talk to guidance counselors, their parents. I'm not a counselor, but I'm a writer, and I feel like I want to inspire kids and let them know that, you know, God is with them and watching them, and they can do anything they want to do, you know. And then the second book is Michael Conway's Acceptance. With Michael Conway's Acceptance, of course, I have two boys. So they were like, Mom, you already wrote Jillian Foster. We love that book, but you really should write something about boys.
That's great.
Right. So really both books are kind of, you know, it could be male or female could read them. I always say 8 to 16 is probably like a good age, but they, you know, Michael Conway's Acceptance is about someone that comes from, he's from Haiti, and, you know, he was bullied or like not accepted, let's say.
Okay.
And in the end, the person that was bullying him, the father, I don't want to give the whole thing away, but he starts to get sick and he's about to die. And the one that was bullied, the victim, let's say, his father comes out and he's the surgeon. So yeah, it's like a little, it's a little bit of it. It's a tearjerker in the end, but you know what? It teaches kids that, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover. Everybody has unique and special qualities that God put inside of them, and we should respect and love each other, instead of worrying about what political party or what, you know, race or, you know, it's just things like that. I just think that, you know, we should look at people through the eyes of love.
So I want to touch base on that a little bit. And there's a reason why, because a lot of people listening today are either experiencing it with their own children, or maybe their children are bullying. So your books are not just for the child that's being bullied. Your books are for families to, I believe, to have every family buy your book who has young children and read them so that their children don't bully.
Absolutely. And I have to tell you, not to cut you off, but I've had friends say to me, I need to buy your book for like a friend of mine because she's such a bully. Because even as adults, you know, there are times when there could be this like struggle, like who has more than, you know, keeping up with the Joneses, or who has more than someone else. And really, it's not about what people wear or the makeup they have on. It's about the person that's inside.
Can I ask you a personal question? And Janine, you always have the right to say, Jer, I'm not comfortable answering that. Okay? That will be respected. How old were you when you were bullied? And can I ask why you were bullied? Like,
Sure, absolutely. So I was bullied in high school.
What?
I remember, I know that sounds crazy. And I remember not being comfortable going into a certain class. And it was by a boy that did the bullying, and it was just verbal bullying, like constant. Yeah. And I didn't want to attend that class because I didn't want to be in his company. And of course, I sat right next to him. And but friends of mine would say, "Oh, Janine, stop. Maybe he likes you or whatever." You know, they were trying to like make me feel better. But if you like somebody, you wouldn't think that you know, would go about it that way. But I guess sometimes, not justifying it, I'm just saying that like being immature, you find it's almost like negative attention. So, you know, but as you get older, you realize that like, this is so stupid. I want to write something inspirational. I want to help kids learn that, you know, picking on someone else does not boost you up a peg. So.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm a little shocked to hear that it was in high school because you're adorable.
Thank you. You're sweet.
Yeah. But I want to say something about that to everyone listening. I agree that boy probably liked you, because I don't consider myself ever bullied because I was a tough kid. I came from New York, and I'm going to share this publicly. I had a juvenile delinquent card. They used to give them back in the day. I'll be 60. So back in the day it was a little different. I remember going into court at 10 years old, Janine, with my father, because I beat somebody up because they were bullying someone.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to like beat everybody up if they were bullying others.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember moving to New Jersey, and it wasn't until years later where 3 boys said I had such a crush on you, and they would say things, and but I would like smack them, you know what I mean?
Right.
But so I just want everybody out there to know that hurt people hurt people.
I love that.
It's the truth. Right. Hurt people. There's always a story behind their pain, and that's the only way they know how to show it. But healed people heal people, and that's what you're doing today, right? That's what you're doing today.
Love it.
Yes. Heal people.
And if you start out young teaching them, values and morals and how not to be a mean person to someone else, then they wind up being beautiful adults, Yep. So we have to get that concept across to our children.
Yep. So tell us a little bit about your staff, your actors and actresses for your new play.
Oh my goodness, I love them so much, Geri. They are the backbone of the play. Last year we were in tears when we had to leave each other. First, let me start off by saying that if you ever attempt to write a play, just know that it takes a lot of time and energy. It's not impossible. Everything's possible, but you just have to stay at it and you have to be disciplined. And I'm the type of person, being creative. I think we talked about this. You want to multitask and do a lot of things. You have to stay focused. Okay. You have to stay in a closed room and start writing. And I said I would like, not to make a joke or any light at all about what we're going through with the pandemic, but I did say, God, did you have to cause this for me to sit still and, and start writing? But that caused me to focus because I'm home and I have my computer in front of me and, the kids are doing their schoolwork and I'm writing. So, I tried to find a silver lining out of, what we're going through.
Wait, I want to interject. I have to say something before I forget, because what you just said. All right. So everyone that knows me knows I'm the author of I'm Not an Addict. I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smart ass than a dumbass, because 29 years ago, guys, I was a dumbass and today I'm a smart ass. Well, close to a year ago, the publisher, Simon & Schuster, Archway Publishing, got in touch with me and said, if you ever want to revise the book, let us know. And I said, I do. Well, they were checking in with me like every week. And I was like, no, not yet. Well, I find through this pandemic, I revised my book and I got yesterday finalized
and I'm so proud of you.
No, but I'm just saying, isn't that funny, right? You just mentioned that and you're right. So for a year, they're bothering me to do it. And through this pandemic, I was like, it's time.
You did it.
It's funny. It's so funny.
On one of my posts, you have to stay focused and now's the time to do it.
Yes.
So it took me about, believe it or not, to write. It wasn't hard because writing just like God gives me the words and I feel like they flow.
That's right.
So I start writing and then just keep going on. But that probably took that process maybe about 6-8 months. But finding the cast, auditioning people. I didn't know I was going to be director and producer of it, but that just fell in my lap and I accepted it. I found the greatest place to have it at. We did it at the Central Valley Theater and Banquet Hall. I think it's a ballroom and theater. And I distinctly remember the gentleman saying to me, you will be lucky if, he goes, I'm going to give you a chance. You're a first timer. He goes, but just know you'll be lucky if you get 50 people. And my friend said to me, how many people would you like to have? I said, I don't know, maybe like 200 a night. And we did it for 3 nights. Sure enough, we hit our goal, which was 600. So my girlfriend said, from your mouth to God's ears. But you never know. You put things out there and you stick with it. And then you just hope that it becomes something that others will enjoy.
Right.
But the play itself, again, took a long time to write. And one last thing I just want to add about the writing part of it, a friend of mine from the writers group, he said, Janine, I don't want to burst your bubble, but you are going to revise it about 100 times. And I'm not lying. I could say this to his face. I got off the phone with him and I was like, what is that man talking about? And he was wrong. I revised it 102 times because when you're writing, you don't realize
oh my gosh,
actors get the papers in front of them to read the script. It's so much different than, what's written on paper, because it's just words until they bring it to life.
So wait, I have a question about that. Because that was cute what you just said. So I want to ask you about that. So you thought it was perfect the way you had it, right? And then when the actor,
with a few tweaks.
Yeah, but when the actor or actress got up there, you thought, oh no, it can't be that way. We have to change the words. Is that what happened?
Let me put it to you this way. If I had a line in there and they said it funnier, or they kind of had an attitude when they said it, then I'm like, you know what? Let me change the wording.
Gotcha.
It might sound better to reflect what they're feeling or what they can demonstrate. Or we would start, for instance, one of the scenes was our Easter dinner, and we had like a big feast and everything, and everybody came over, and it was funny. We had like a few of the characters and stuff say their lines, but as we were saying them, we're like, wow, it would be nice if we could add something like this to it. So I'd add a couple of lines, and like if a cast member told me something, I wouldn't like totally ignore it. I would actually take all the feedback that they gave me, because you need an outsider to look at it and say, wow, this is really good, but what if she did it with more of maybe a few different words choices or something. So I would change that. I would tweak it, and we would add things in as we went along. And I'll tell you, I'll never forget the first night of the show. Mary Teresa can vouch for this, but first night of the show, I was in the back. We were just getting changed into our costumes and everything, and all of a sudden I think were at the opening show, Jerry.
Yep, and I came backstage. It was awesome.
Yeah, and you came backstage. Anyway, when I went back to go get changed after the first scene, and I heard the audience like really laughing and into it, I was like, wow, because I didn't make it to be a comedy, but because the actors and actresses, and we added tweaks along the way, I thought, wouldn't it be nice to add some humor? It ended up like that, besides the chemistry between me and Terry, obviously.
Your mom is in the chat room, and she said that her and Dad are so proud of you.
Aww.
And Carol, I mentioned you in the beginning of the show, that we even worked together when I was young. And what a beautiful family you guys all are. So I did
love
say
love
that.
them. They're such a good support system. My parents, I'm telling you, they're the best.
So okay. So the humor. Let's talk about your first play with some of the humor, because there was humor, girlfriend.
It's funny, because I never considered myself a comedian, but I loved, as a young girl, doing impersonations and
Can you do any impersonations?
I do impersonations.
So wait, do one for me right now.
Stop. You want me to do Marissa Tomei?
Yes. Oh my gosh, you even look like her, but do it.
Because my biological clock is ticking like this, and at the rate this case is going, I ain't never getting married.
Janine, I did not know that. What is wrong with you? Why aren't you doing that on all my shows?
So pretend like you're a little deer, Vin, and you walk on over and you spot a clear, cool brook, and you press your little bitty deer lips next to the clear, cool brook to take a sip. Kapow, deer brains all over.
That's perfect. That's perfect, right?
Yep. So when I went to acting school, they would ask me to do impersonations, and I always loved it. I always loved to make people laugh. Like I said, I wouldn't consider myself a comedian, but I did do stand up a couple times in New York and Tony and Tina's wedding. So that was a lot of fun. Always loved to make people laugh. So if we can bring that life to the plays, then I'm happy.
All right, I'm gonna just say something to you, and take it or leave it. If you could figure out a way to get a couple of your impersonations in this play, just to be funny and cute, from one sister to another, maybe.
Right.
That would be off the charts.
It would, but you know what's so funny? I'm going to take a step back in this play, I think. And I think instead of playing one of the sisters, although that would be great and everything, I haven't totally, given that thought up. I think I might play the role of the mother of these three sisters. Why? Because if I die off in the beginning, which obviously, years later, the mother has to die, I can direct it better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because directing it and acting in it last time was tough doing both.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I get that.
But
All
that's
right.
a great idea, and I'll keep that in mind.
All right.
I like doing that too.
Even if the mom just says something funny to the girls in a voice, I mean, that's incredible. What you just did was so great. All right.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. Why don't you read everyone a poem?
Okay, that sounds great. This is well, actually, this is a poem that's near and dear to me because of what we're going through in the pandemic. I wrote this poem, and I'm very humbled by the fact that it just got published in our local GAC newsletter. But it's called I Thank God for You.
Okay.
It's a different kind of enemy, a different kind of war. Those who are on the front lines we've never seen before. It's a different kind of armor. It's a different kind of fight. And I just pray God gives you the strength, the vigor, and the might. No protection in the world could protect you like his arms and give you guided wisdom to shelter you from harm. So as you serve those around you and take them by the hand, know that the battle you're fighting is on rugged foreign land. Humanity needs your courage, your help, and your desire to be the voice of sympathy to quench this global fire. For we're all in this together, the red, white, and the blue, a patriotic family that lets our love shine through. Every battle takes some heroes who are willing to lead the fight, knowing in the darkness they long to find the light. For in a world with such uncertainty, know this much is true. Because you've given of yourself, I thank God for you.
It's incredible. I mean, I love your books. I'm going to be reading your books. My granddaughter's only 4, and I'm going to start reading them to her now.
Thank you.
Yep. She's learning about all that great stuff, bullying and everything.
Yeah.
And I love your writings. I love your poems. And of course, I loved your play, and I cannot wait for this one.
Thank you. I'm very excited. And, I'm just, we're in the audition process actually right now. We're actually in the audition process. Yep.
So cool. So what else would you like to tell everyone out there?
Well, what I'd love for everyone to know is that if they think they have talent and they've always loved to be an actor or an actress, we've been overwhelmed, thank God, with the amount of people that we got, that are submitting for auditions. But we could still use some male, say 40-ish or up or 30-ish or up, and even a senior citizen male. So there are some roles that are yet to be cast. And anybody else, really, you don't just have to be male. You could be female, young, whatever. If we have a spot for you and you think you have the talent, please come out and just, I guess what they could just do is email me, Geri, if that's okay with me sharing my email.
To share everything. Tell them how to get in touch with you. What are you kidding?
Okay. It's JANVER, the first 3 letters of my first name, first 3 letters of my last, 17@gmail.com. So it's janver17@gmail.com. And, you might find somebody that has never done acting before, but I work with people. What I'm looking for is just reliability, dependability, and people that are trainable. Because I can, we did training sessions. I went to Lee Strasberg, so we did, training sessions with our cast, and they were incredible. They started off, maybe I have to say, and they would say this too, they would agree with me, maybe a little rusty in the beginning. They were incredible by the end. I mean, they could take the Broadway stage. They were so good. Okay.
So I have someone that you might be interested in reaching out to. I don't know if you know him. Do you know Fred Walker?
No.
Okay, so I went to school with Fred, and he just put on a play in December, and I had front and center, just like with yours, in the front row. It was awesome. And Kelsey Theater. He did the Christmas Carol.
Oh, okay.
It was
he probably did it with the assistant director, maybe from the last play, which was Jason Marenko. He played, he was in the Kelsey Theater.
Okay. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, you know me, I'm terrible with remembering all the names and everything.
That's okay.
So so you could reach out to him on Facebook, Fred Walker, and tell him you're my friend. I could reach out to him for you.
Thank you.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
Thank you.
So, all right. Anything else you want? You gave them all your info. You want to give them? Okay.
Gave them all my info, and everybody keeps asking, well, when is the play and where will it be? And it's so difficult, Geri, right now.
I know.
Because of what we're going through.
I know.
To pinpoint that. But you know what? I really believe in the 5 Ps. Prior planning prevents piss poor performance, if I could say that, or the 6 Ps.
Say that 10 times.
You have to plan. You have to plan is what I'm saying. So I'm just, letting God take the lead, and he's telling me go forward with it. So I'm just, trying to do this. And then what we'll do is we'll decide as it gets closer. I kind of threw it out there to the theater manager that maybe November through March. And I know that's a wide time frame, but who knows what's going to happen,
right. I agree with you,
in the next few months. But I am going to go forward with auditions, because even if it's in several months ahead, we would like to know who's going to be on our team. Right. And we may run it for 2 weekends. So
no, I agree with you 100%. Better safe than sorry. That's all.
Absolutely.
So, Janine, thank you, sweetheart, once again.
Oh, thank you, Jer.
So,
great being on your show.
You've been on I'm on 5 networks, and I also now have the Geri Petito podcast. That's the only one you haven't been on yet. So we're going to also do that.
Okay.
We're coming up. Oh, you're going to be on Hamilton Radio with me, right?
Yes, next Wednesday, 6:30.
Next Wednesday night, 6:30, everybody. And it's going to be GoToMeeting. So it'll be live on Facebook as well, like that Zoom stuff, but it's not. It's GoToMeeting. And we will be live, and you will get to see her beautiful face, okay?
Oh, and thank you, Geri.
And
thank you so much.
Be prepared to do Marissa Tomei again, please.
Oh,
because
my goodness. Now you're not going to let me live that down.
No, be prepared. Have a couple poems. Be prepared to do Marissa Tomei. Have your books with you so you could show them, because you're going to be seen.
Sure, absolutely.
All right. So I want to say thank you to all my listeners out there, all my viewers. Please share this video. Please share it for Janine.
Like and share.
Yes, like and share, like and share. There you go. All right. Thank you, Janine.
All right. Thank you so much, Jer. Take care.
Take care, sweetie.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.